Well, hi there. My ball python, Sunny, who is a lesser pinstripe banana ball python, in fact, he's the one that shows up in our video on banana ball pythons, he's been my very favorite male breeder over the last couple of seasons because he produces the most incredible clutches of ball pythons. And we actually made a video about one of the clutches that he sired last year, and they were nuts. This year I just had my first clutch hatch, and they just got finished shedding, and they are at least as nuts as last year's clutch, and I can't wait to show them to you. On top of that, I just got two, not one, but two animals that have been on my dream list for a long time. So I already told you that the sire of this clutch of ball pythons is Sunny, and he is a banana lesser pinstripe ball python. And the female with which I paired him, this is her first time breeding, and she is a pastel leopard. And I'm really excited about that because I love the leopard gene. It kind of breaks up the pattern a little bit, but with lesser especially, it makes some of the most incredible combos that have just these incredible perfect dorsal stripes. Some really amazing combinations. I really love leopard, and she's the only leopard in my whole collection. And so I've really wanted to get some babies from her, and this is the first year she's been big enough, and she is a gloriously beautiful female. She's the widest ball python I've ever been across for her size. Like, her head is wide, her body's wide. She almost looks like a blood python in some ways. She's not overweight. Her structure is all wide. It's amazing, and I'm hoping some of these babies get that. So let's check them out. So with each of these babies, I'm going to show you what I got and what I think is going on. There are 5 different genes at play here, which are banana, lesser, pinstripe, pastel, and leopard. And so they could potentially receive all 5 of those. All of those are either dominant or incomplete dominant with wild type, and none of them are allelic with one another. Banana is the most bonkers of them all because it is, it's on the sex determining chromosomes. And so if you have, there's a crazy pattern with banana. Let me put it that way. And we have a whole video on it. In fact, you should check it out right here because it's insane if you want to know more about banana. And as it turns out, I was one of the very first people in the reptile hobby to understand what's going on there and explain it to everybody. And that's why I made the video that I did, is because that day, that question would come up all the time, and I just explained it in a Facebook group one day when I finally understood it, because I found out about a new paper that just made everything make sense. But this guy, he's got that banana in him, and so that means most likely because his father is a banana, and his father is what you call a male maker banana, which means he only passes it on to his sons most of the time. This is probably a male, though I haven't sexed them by anything but color so far. But because he's got banana, odds are very good that he's a male. He's also, and this is when a lot of people thought he had spider in him when I showed you guys a picture a while back, but he doesn't have spider because there's no spider in this cross. This guy, what he has is pinstripe, but I agree he looks like a spider pinstripe, but he is not. He is just a pinstripe, banana, and then I think the only other gene that we've got going on here that's anything but wild type is pastel. And so pinstripe is what's causing this pattern to be really narrow. I think we've got pastel, just looking at his lips and just how bright he is. Pastel's going to be a little bit hard to spot in here. Pastel's usually easy because pastel turns their eyes green. So usually you can look and the color comes up from their lip a little bit farther and their eyes are green. But banana lightens up their color everywhere, so it'll be a little bit before I can tell on that, and it makes their eyes black. And so the black eyes have overridden any sort of green eyes. But I think there's probably pastel in this guy, and I'd love your opinions. So what do you see here? This next snake is probably my, this is hard to say, but this is one of my very favorite 2-gene snakes, which means he's got 2 different morph alleles in him. One of them that he has is banana, and the other one is lesser. And those are two of my favorite alleles, period, and the way that they go together is utter perfection. Let me start with the fact that he's crazy beautiful now, and lots of ball pythons hatch out crazy beautiful. And then a lot of them kind of brown out, or they just kind of lose a lot of their crispness. They become less beautiful with age. Not a banana lesser. They get more and more and more insane with age. If you don't believe me, you gotta Google them, look at pictures of adult banana lessers. They're unimaginably glorious. I love them. And it always pains me that I don't feel like I can keep these guys. I've produced a few of them now. I arguably like the way that they look better than my banana lesser pinstripe male. But I've got two of those. I've got Sonny, who's the sire of this clutch, and I've got one of his sons from last year. And so it doesn't make sense for me to keep a 2-gene male when he has those same 2 genes plus one more. So I'll probably end up selling this guy. It makes me sad, because they get gloriously beautiful. Something else I love about them, banana tends to get spots. That's actually part of why they're called banana. As they get older, they get spots. Not when they've got lesser in them. When they have lesser, they don't get the spots, and they get so bright and so glorious. One of the prettiest snakes, I think, in the whole wide world is the banana lesser. I'm excited to have this guy. If this one turned out to be a female, which it probably won't, but if it does, keeping her for sure, but probably a male, so this one will probably be available. I'm pretty confident about this one. Next up is this glorious little girl. Pretty sure it's a girl because she doesn't have banana. And again, if that doesn't make sense, you should watch our video on banana ball pythons. But she does not have the banana. What she does have for sure, she's definitely got pinstripe, and she's definitely got lesser. I'm pretty darn confident about this. And actually, the last clutch that I got out of that Sunshine sired had a lesser pinstripe female that I've kept. This one, however, has the possibility for having a couple more things in it. I'm not sure if there's pastel in this one. In fact, I'm pretty sure as I look at her that there is no pastel. So I'd be very surprised to find pastel. Though I do have some pretty light colored eyes. That's probably due to the lesser, because lesser is actually incomplete dominant with the wild type, but lesser is a blue-eyed leucistic allele. And so when they're homozygous for that, when they have 2 copies, that's a blue-eyed leucistic. So this girl here could have blue-eyed leucistic babies. And it also lightens their eyes to some degree, but not all the way to blue. What I do notice with this girl, though, is that her pattern is considerably more disrupted than it is with most lesser pinstripes that you see, including the one that I produced last year. I think that's because there's leopard in her as well, and leopard kind of breaks up the pattern a little bit more. She might be what you call an ocelot ball, which an ocelot is probably my favorite cat, and an ocelot ball would be a total score for me. If this is a female ocelot ball that has leopard in it, I'd probably keep her, because like I said, I've only got the one individual with leopard right now. And this would be amazing. This would be amazing. I love her. But if you see something different, I'd love to know what you see there. Next up is a baby that I'm really excited about, because I'm almost certainly going to keep this one. This one here, what I'm seeing is pinstripe, which we've already talked about. It's what narrows the pattern. That's definitely there. Banana, that's definitely there. You can tell from the black eyes and the coloration. Lesser, I'm pretty sure there's lesser in this one, which I'm really excited about. And I think this one's got pastel as well. So Dad is what you call a banana kingpin. He's a banana, well, he's a banana kingpin, so he's a banana lesser pinstripe. I think this is a banana lesser pinstripe pastel, which would make him actually an even more powerful male than his dad, which to me means he's a keeper. I'm very excited about this little guy. I don't see leopard in him, which is disappointing. If he had leopard, he'd be the 5-gene ultimate combination. As it turns out, from this clutch with 5 genes that are all incomplete dominant or co-dominant, and both parents are heterozygous for both of them, I've got a 50-50 chance of each one of the 5 showing up in each snake, which means that I have 1 in 2, 1 in 4, 1 in 8, 1 in 16, 1 in 32 odds of any one combination for each egg. So there were 32 possible different snakes that could come out. The 5 gene snake, there's only a 1 in 32 chance per egg of getting that, and I don't think I got that. Though I have one that, well, I think it might be a 4 gene snake, but I'll have to have you take a look at that one as well. This one though is a 4 gene snake, and that is just about as good as it gets out of a clutch like this. I'm really excited about him. He's real cool. I love the black stripe because they've actually normally, and he still has it, but they've got a light stripe on top of the dark stripe. It's just that the top of his head is just as light as the light stripe, and so it just kind of looks like he's got one dark stripe on the side of his face, and that's it. And I think that looks so cool. He's a really neat looking snake, and I'm very excited about him. But he's not maybe even the most exciting snake in this clutch. This next one is the only snake in the clutch that hasn't had its first shed just yet. And I was a little bummed about that. It'll shed tonight. Its eyes have cleared back up. Like it's ready to go. I thought it might shed while we were filming tonight, but it hasn't. And so this snake will be even more brilliant tomorrow. However, it is kind of a cool opportunity to show you the difference between before shed and after shed. And when they come out of the egg, they're not quite as bright as they will be after they shed, and they tend to brighten up for their first several sheds. So these guys are going to get more nuts. But on top of that, this original skin that they have while they're in the egg and that they hatch out with is much waxier and more opaque than is the skin that they will have at any other time during their life. And so it's really a dramatic difference looking at a snake that hasn't had its first shed yet versus any other ball python. You know, tomorrow he's going to look very different than he does today. But I think we can still see a lot going on with this guy. For starters, he's definitely got banana, so probably a boy. The other thing that I'm seeing in him with a high degree of certainty is pastel. That's why he's super white instead of super yellow. And pastel, not only does it brighten them up a little bit, but it also makes their pattern a little bit more erratic than is the pattern in other ball pythons. As I mentioned before, not the case with bananas, but it'll turn their eyes a green color instead of the more brown that is typical. Hey.
Gross.
Guys, that was not only a poo, that was probably his first poo ever. Sorry to stress you out, so.
You sound so proud.
I am. Other than my son, I'm not sure I've ever held somebody during their first major urination moment. Hooray! So what pastel will do, and not in bananas, but generally speaking, it lightens the eyes up. It also brightens up the whole snake. So like I said before, they've got the green eyes. They're going to be brighter in color, and the pattern tends to be a little more erratic, especially with like these alien heads on the side going over into the dorsal striping. That's pretty common with pastels. The thing though about this snake that really gets me is he's got, so normally most ball pythons have like a yellow or a goldish sort of dorsal stripe, and he does have that right at the beginning of his neck and right down at his tail. But he's got an almost perfect black stripe down the rest of his body, almost like what you would see with a clown, though he's not a clown, but it almost looks like that. And this section back here where you've got all these continuous white alien heads, he's either the coolest looking pastel banana I've ever seen, just, you know, because there is variation in the pattern and you could just get lucky and get one that looks this cool. I also think there's a pretty strong chance that this snake is a leopard as well, and that's why I'm getting a little bit of extra distortion in the pattern. I'd really like your opinion on that one. So I'm going to say pastel banana, possible leopard, If it is a leopard, this guy might be a keeper for me because he's amazing. He's amazing. I'd love to be able to justify keeping him. I don't have a lot of use for a banana pastel, but a banana pastel leopard, that'd be hard to pass up. Oh, I love this snake. He's amazing. This clutch has one more baby, but I should mention before I show you that baby that these 6 snakes, as freakishly exciting as they are maybe not even the most exciting things I have to show you in this video. So you're going to want to stay tuned for a few more minutes after this. But check out this baby. This baby is incredible. Incredible. I'm trying to figure out what all is going on with this snake. This snake, though, if this snake has lesser in it, my ball python operation, I'm never gonna be a giant ball python breeder. That's not a goal I have, and so I've kind of realized I need to keep myself sort of specialized into the projects that I like the best, because some projects I'd need to pick up so many extra snakes, it's just not worth it. So, kind of one of my rules is it needs to have a blue-eyed leucistic gene in it. My whole ball python breeding is called Laidlaw leucistics, and that's what I focus on. This one, I'm not sure if he has lesser in him or not. I got some second opinions, and they thought that he did, which would make my day. For me, looking at him, I was thinking no, but I've never seen a snake like this in my life. This isn't the only one that exists, but there aren't many. And what this guy is, look at him. He's orange and purple. He's orange with purple spots and black eyes. He's ridiculous. So what he definitely has Pinstripe. And he definitely has leopard. And that is why he has spots instead of anything even close to normal ball python pattern. He's got spots. He's definitely a banana, because he's got the black eyes and this coloration. This is banana or bust. He's definitely a banana. He might be a leopard, and I have absolutely no reason at all to think he's a pastel. Though the other thing that you would get with pastels, in addition to the green eyes, which I wouldn't be able to see here, and the color up off the lips, and the disrupted pattern, which this pattern is so insane anyway, you'd never know. The other thing that you get with pastels is a lot of times the head, the marking on the head stamp will be more washed out, especially if they're a homozygous super pastel, then it's going to be super washed out, and I don't see any of that washed out head pattern, though he's got a freaking purple splotch on top of his head. Like, he's got purple splotches everywhere. This snake is ridiculous, and if he fits into my breeding plans at all, he's staying, and if he doesn't fit into my breeding plans at all, he still maybe stays, because this guy, man, I love him. If he has lesser in him, he'll become perfection for me. He'll be a 4-gene snake, because I have no reason to suspect he has pastel, though, like I said, never seen one of these before. Maybe he does. And he will be what you call a banana ocelot, which that is the happiest thing I can imagine. As I already told you, I love the look of the ocelot ball python. I love ocelots, and I love the banana morph, so a banana ocelot would be a dream snake for me. Plus, if he's got lesser in him, he's not going to get any spots. He's just going to grow into this obscenely glorious snake. I'm telling you that the things coming after this might be more exciting, but that is hard for me to imagine right at this moment, because I haven't had that many times to just hold this snake yet, because he's new to the world and I've been leaving him alone. But oh my goodness, what a snake. But I've got another one to show you, so hang on. So, all in all, we got 6 absolutely spectacular little babies that I am super duper excited about. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about these guys. I really want to know which one is your favorite. And of course, if you're seeing genes in there that I'm not seeing, I want to hear what you think as well. Also, which ones do you think I should keep and which ones do you think I should sell? Because, I mean, honestly, I breed snakes mostly for me, but I can't really afford to keep them all. I have to let some go, and that's always hard for me. So which ones should I keep and which ones should I make available? Should I make them available to you guys? Let me know down in the comments. I'm super excited about these guys. It's hard to believe that anything could be more exciting than that clutch, and I'm not sure. This is more exciting, but it's something I'm extremely excited about. I'm holding still because I'm still getting this guy used to handling. I may be bitten by him here in a minute. Her, actually. She's tried once before, but she's pretty good for a little baby snake. But this is a new baby boa. And that normally wouldn't be that big of a deal. You guys know I already have 2 boas. I've got 2 BCIs, or 2 boa imperators. I've got a Central American boa and I've got a common boa, and they are among my favorite snakes. But this still has been one of my dream snakes for quite some time now. This is a Peruvian long-tailed boa, which is a boa constrictor. So not a BI, but a BC. This is boa constrictor longicauda, which that essentially just means long tail. Actually exactly means long tail. So this is the Peruvian long-tailed boa. You can see the way she's following me a little bit. We either have already released or soon will release a video on how to read a snake, and this is a snake that is a little bit worried about me. So I'm trying not to get super close to her. And the thing is, these boas, seeing them as babies, you would never know how glorious they become, because honestly, right now, she looks like kind of just a more gray common boa. I mean, she doesn't look like anything special right now. The thing about this species that gets me so excited is the way they look as adults. They get so dark and so incredible. And when I first saw her mom at Great Basin Serpentarium, I went, holy cow, you have got to put me on the waiting list. I'd never seen them for sale anywhere before. I'd never seen one in person before, and I was just like, my gosh. Because as much as I love bright, brilliant snakes, I mean, you can see that's my whole breeding project, I also really love the dark snakes. I love them. And I love the dark morphs like the IMG boa. But as you saw in my conversation with Dave Kaufman, I mean, I really like wild types, and this is a wild type boa, and I love boas, that gets just so dark and so incredible looking. I love them, and I didn't know how long I was going to be on that waiting list before one came available, but it's happened. I was able to get her, and I am so excited to have her, and you guys are the first ones to get a look at her. What do you think? Isn't she special? These guys don't get quite as big as even a common boa. So this is a boa constrictor, but it's a smaller subspecies. And I'm just really, really, really excited about her. I love her. What should I name her, by the way? What do you think? Dark boas are the greatest thing in the world, because boas all have an iridescence to them. But when you have it on a black background, it gets bonkers. And this, for a wild type boa, is the darkest I know of. The Argentine boas, which that'll upset a few people right there, but the Argentine boas, they might give them a run for their money. But this, I think, is probably the darkest wild type boa, at least that I know of. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't wait to show you this girl as she grows. And in fact, I want to mention that because that's one of the things we do with our patrons at Patreon. It's something I want to do in the future is give you guys a few more extra little updates about the baby animals that are part of my collection, how they're doing as they grow up. And so that will be something we'll add in the future every now and then, a few little updates here and there as a way of saying thank you for all that you do for us. But as ridiculously excited as I am about this girl, I'm pretty sure she's not even the most exciting thing I have to show you today. If you know anything about me, you will understand how much joy is coursing through my veins at this moment, because you will know that I have wanted one of these for like the last 16 or so years. But this incredible little creature is my very own yellow Ackie monitor. I know. I still can't believe it. Not at all. The thing is, an Ackie monitor, I have dreamed about them always. And I have never seen one for less than $350. And I just could never justify it. I could never justify spending that on a pet lizard. I don't know why. You know, I've never even spent that much on an individual ball python, even though I've produced some worth way more than that. I've never been able to. I can't do it. And at least with the ball python, I plan to breed them. Like, in some ways, they're an investment. There's no investment aspect to an Ackie. I just really wanted one. And due to the wonderful people at Animal Ark and Orem, I was able to make a trade for a few of the bearded dragons that I produced this year for this unbelievably spectacular yellow Ackie monitor. And I'm beside myself, guys. I don't even know what to tell you. It's amazing. And I have a question for you. I've built a little temporary enclosure while he's quarantined. Should we do an enclosure build for the Ackie? I know we talked about it a long time ago. Should we do that here on this channel? Is that something that you guys would like to see? Make sure you comment, let me know about that. And now I have shown you 8 absolutely incredible dream reptiles. I cannot believe what has happened to me in the last month. It has just been out of this world. Which one of the 8 was your favorite? Because I have no idea. I mean, it would be very difficult for me to say it's not the Ackie monitor. But it's also hard for me to say it's absolutely the Ackie monitor, because there's been some nuts stuff going on today. What a day. I don't have a name for this Ackie monitor yet, and I don't have a name for my Peruvian longtail boa, or actually any of the baby snakes that I might choose to get. So, I want to hear name ideas. I want to hear which snakes I should keep. I want to hear which one is the coolest in your opinion. There's just so much to be excited about today, and I'm glad that you could share this little adventure with me. As always, like and subscribe. Make sure to click the little bell. We will probably do some updates down the road on these guys, show you other things that are going on with my collection, introduce you to buckets of stinking rad pet reptiles, and some that maybe aren't right for you. And we just appreciate you being here. We hope to see you real soon. Ready?
I don't know what we're doing, so I don't know how to direct you.
Great.
Get excited.
I am excited.
So excited.
But I'm not as excited as Michelle.
I'm really
Michelle,
excited.
why are you excited?
I am so excited because I know what's coming.
Oh my heavens. Did you
Unbelievable.
say lose their Christmas?
Yeah.
Crispness.
Oh, I thought you said Christmas.
Like, is that an expression I've never heard?
Mr. Jason?
Yeah.
Hey, you. Hey, you. No, no, no. No, no, no. Okay, good girl. She's gonna fall, though. Tree snake. That's the difference between a tree snake and a ball python. Could you be any more perfect?
Oh, Lisa. Get out of here.
Can we just...
Oh, it's buzzing the phone.
Can we stop it?
Dang it.